guys, welcome to my third tutorial, guitar tutorial, and it's also my third Beatles tutorial. I love Beatles acoustic stuff, if you couldn't tell already. This is another Paul acoustic, solo acoustic number, and it's also on the White Album, like Blackbird, that I just did a tutorial of. So it's a really fun song to play, and kind of challenging, kind of different chord shapes and all that stuff, kind of fun, a lot of open chords and stuff. So anyway, let's get right to it, get to the meat and potatoes, and enjoy. Okay, the beginning intro of the song starts off with the lower 4 strings of a B minor chord. So that would be 4th fret G string, 3rd fret D string, or excuse me, B string, and high E string 2nd fret. So he picks the first note, which is the B, and then the lower 2. Then he moves down to a D chord, 2nd fret, G string, same 2 notes of the other chord. So he picks that the same way, and then move that 2nd fret down to 1st fret on the G string, keep the same 2 strings of the lower part of the chord, and then open low E. So again, that's okay. And next, the verse starts out with him strumming a D chord with a high A note on the high E string. So he basically plucks the high A with an open D, strums it like this. And then the high A moves down to a G note, down to the 3rd fret, which I bar like this. So it would be O, 2, 3, 3. And then open high E string, everything else the same. And then 3rd fret high E string with a little pull off to the 2nd fret. So the whole thing is. And then after that, he does little inversions, or little versions of hammer-ons and pull-offs on the open high E string. So then it goes, which are both hammer-ons, 0 to 2 high E, and then 2 to 3, and then O2 again. So that whole thing would be. Okay, and then the singing starts. Very basic, very simple. The Born a Poor Young Country Boy. And then when he sings Mother Nature's Son, it goes back to the B minor chord. So that again is 4, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, and 1, 3, 2, and then open low E. And then when he sings All Day Long, you're basically playing it's an A chord, so you're hitting the open A string and the high A on the little E on the high E string as well. And then you have basically you're muting the D string on that, and then you have the 2nd fret of the G string, 2nd fret of the B string, comprising an A chord. And you're just alternating between the 2nd and the 3rd fret of the B string. So I'm kind of doing, I'm plucking the open A and the the high E string on the 5th fret with the, what is that? That's the B string 2nd fret. Those 3 strings, and I'm kind of doing like a kind of a strum, almost like a muted strum. It's kind of like slapping the strings, kind of using your thumb on that. You have to just kind of experiment with it and see what kind of sounds that you come up with that you like. Okay, and after that part, then you have the D major, that little riff there, 2nd to 3rd fret, and then back down to 2. Okay, on the high E string, and then it goes to a D minor 7th chord, which is open D string, 2nd fret on the A on the G string, 1st fret on the B, and 1st fret on the high E. So you have, and then you hit the 3rd fret high E string, and it slides up to the 5th fret on the high E string. You move that whole form up 2 frets, which is basically an F to a G. So you're basically going, does that little riff there. It goes between the 3rd and the 5th fret on the high E with a pluck of the open D and the high E string 3rd fret. Back to the D. I'll play that whole thing again real slow. And then the verse, 2nd verse repeats. And then the variation, it goes little riff there, it's an E major riff, open E, slides up to the 4th fret, then 2nd fret on the B string, or A string, which is the B note, and then open, and then an E, 2nd fret of the D string. Back to that little riff there, leading up to the okay, then the next part, the doot 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 part, basically we're playing a D chord. I form the D chord normal way, which would be 2nd fret A string, or excuse me, 2nd fret G string, 3rd fret B string, 2nd fret high E. But I don't actually, I just kind of put my finger on the chord, but I don't play the G string. I play an open D, and then the lower 2 of that note, or of that chord. So it would be 0, and then skip the G string, and then 3, 2. That's what I pluck with my fingers, so it's... So it comes out like... So 0, 3, 2, 0, 3, 3, and then 0, 3, 5. And I keep my finger on the 2nd fret of the G, but... So it would have that 0, 3, 2 with a skip on it. And then I move everything up to 8th fret on the B, 7th fret on the high E with that open D string. And then slide down to a C chord, which is 5th fret B string, 3rd fret high E. So these these last two chords are basically C to D. So 0, 5, 3, and then 0, 7, 5. And I don't really play anything on the G, but I do keep my finger there on the D form. Again. Okay, that's that part. So I think he plays it twice in the song. And then when you get to that D, you do play 0, 7, 7, 5. He plays that little strum there with a 5 to 7 to 5. So, oops, it's kind of hard to hit. I do that with my third finger instead of doing the pinky, because it's hard to cram all your fingers onto the same fret, at least for me. I just do a little, smash my finger down. So you're going 5 to 7 to 5 on the high E, everything else the same on the 7th fret. And then 0, 6, 7, 5. That's basically a D major 7. With that same little 5, 7, 5 on the high E. And then 0, 5, 7, 5. 0, 5, 7, 5. That's basically a D7. Same little riff. Then it goes right before going into the G chord. 0, 4, 3, 3. That's open D, 4th fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B, 3rd fret high E. Oops. It goes 3, 5, 3 again. It's kind of the same format with when he starts up higher like that. And then it drops down to a G minor, 0, 3, 3, 3. And then to the D. So I'll play that whole thing again. Basically that whole part. I think that's the whole rest of the song. Everything else is just repeating. I think then he goes into a 3rd verse. Then he goes back into the doot 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 part again. Okay, and then the very last part of the song is the outro solo, as I call it. That basically plays over the verse. Okay, so that starts out with, say, a D chord form, but he's playing a 4th fret on the D string and a 2nd fret on the G. So he picks those, I believe. Well, I find it easiest to get close to the original sound if you pick it with your 2 index finger and your second, your bird finger. So you're going 4-2 to 5-2. 5 would be on the D string. And then 4-2, and then that slides up to the 7th fret on the G string. I'll play that again. That's the first part of the riff. And then it goes to 9th fret on the D string, 10th fret on the high E. So it's, those two are just plucked together. Thumb and middle finger or first finger, whatever you want to do. And then 7th fret, D string, 9th fret high E. And that does a little slide or a little pull off, whatever you want to do. You do it either way. Oops. That's all kind of a pull off, or if you do the slide, do kind of a little, you don't pluck any of that except for the first time. So you pull this. It's kind of hard when you're barring this because you got to bar that on the 7th fret. I think that's the way he does it in the original version. Oops. And then 6th fret on the D, 7th fret on the high E. And then it does the riff in the song. I think he does it 2 or 3 times before. Oops. 0, slide to 4, 2-2, B and D strings respectively. And then the way I play this is I play the open A and pluck that with my thumb, and then play the 9th fret on the G string and just slide that all the way down. So it's 7th fret to 6th fret to 4th fret to 2nd fret. So that would go, and when I do that, I kind of come back down in between each time I slide, and I kind of hit the, so I'm almost coming back down with my thumb and hitting the A string, open A again. Then open G, those two plucked out, open together, open A, open G. So 9th. Open G, and then 4th fret on the D with your open A again, and then 2nd fret with your open A, and then just an open D. So that whole thing again is oops, that last part you don't play the A for the D chord, and then it does a little slide. 0, 4 on the D string, 2nd fret on the G string, and then it goes 5, 5 on the G string and the high E, so there's a string skip in there, skipping the B string. And I pluck those with actually my 1st and my 4th ring finger, but you could do it any way you want. It's just easier for me to do it that way. And those slide down to 5th slides down to 2, and the 5th on the high E slides down to 1. So I said the 5th on the G string slides down to 2. And then that slides up to the 7 and 7, same strings, and then 4 and 3 on the G and the high E. So it goes all the way to slide up to 7, down to 4, 3, and then 11th fret and 10th fret on the high E. Same strings. And he puts a little vibrato on the end there. So that's basically the whole outro riff. And and then it just ends with a. And then I think at the end of the original recording there's like the horn, and the accompaniment is playing a C note, which makes it sound like a D7th chord. I believe that is the whole song. Hey guys, appreciate you tuning into the tutorial. Hopefully you learned something, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section below. And let me know if you liked the tutorial, if it was helpful, and appreciate you tuning in again. And if you want to see the full cover that I just did of Mother Nature's Son, I will post it right here. So appreciate you tuning in, and good luck. See ya.